Alright, so today in this video we're going to be going over the Bitcoin price action and what we can expect with this Bitcoin halving that will be underway in just about 2.5 hours from the time of me recording this. From the time of me uploading the video, it's probably only going to be an hour until we get that Bitcoin halving. And let's talk about what that's going to do to the price on Bitcoin. Should you be longing this news event, shorting it? Is it going to be a sell the news event? And while the short answer is no one really knows, it probably won't affect price too much. And the best thing to do is just not trade it at all, because I can almost guarantee you that when that halving drops, it's going to be similar to a CPI or Fed rate decision days, where the price will wick in both directions to stop out leverage before continuing in the direction it wants to go. But looking at Bitcoin right now, we can see we have gotten a nice bounce off the lows at 59.5-ish. But let me go ahead and jump out here to the daily. We can see that we are looking to reclaim this daily EMA. This is what I really want to see happen, and I think we'll probably get that very, very soon here, at least by the weekly close, which is in 2 days, right? This weekly chart is really shaping up to be something extremely bullish. Really looking like it wants to form some sort of double bottom up here at the highs before continuing on upwards. So, as long as we keep these wicks to the downside, it's looking extremely, extremely bullish. And I would expect the start of next week to, probably still be wicking down, somewhat. But I do expect next week's close to go ahead and bust through all these highs, liquidating all those shorts, and I do expect our next week's candle to be pretty massive. Now we only have 2 hours left on this daily close, so I do expect Bitcoin to probably close around the daily EMA. That halving is going to be around 30 minutes after the close, right? The New York Stock Exchange close. And I do expect on that daily open with that Bitcoin halving, you're probably going to see an initial wick down, and then it'll pump up from there, right? Whatever the first move is probably the false move. That's how it normally goes with CPI or Fed rate day. And that's why I just would not be trading this, right? Let the dust settle after the halving if you are thinking about trading or whatever. I mean, we could easily go ahead. I could see price just reacting extremely fast, when we get this halving, just go straight down, nuke, sweep all these lows, and then go ahead and absolutely go vertical after that. So, definitely be cautious, right? If you're in leverage positions or whatever, right? Have those stops at entry, because I do expect the halving news to be some sort of way for market makers to play with all the retail that are entering leverage positions without stops and that sort of thing. And it's going to be a massive liquidity game. I don't expect, the actual halving to have any effect, right? I don't think the amount that miners earn is really going to make a difference on price, especially not, immediately. Now, I do think some of the selling pressure here locally could have been from miners, right? Getting ahead of the curve and selling their Bitcoin before other miners do, because it is advantageous for miners to sell on halvings of any crypto, right? Because their profits are going to be demoted after the halving. So why not go ahead and sell it before then? Now, getting out of the very short term, right? When we have this halving, what's going to happen, in the next week or so, right? You heard it earlier. I said probably gonna have an extremely bullish week next week, and the reason for this is a couple things, right? So DXY, if you don't know, Bitcoin is inversely correlated to the dollar currency index. This is the US dollar versus foreign dollars, right? And Bitcoin is a competitor to the dollar, so if the dollar is going down, Bitcoin is going up theoretically, right? This is also a correlation that it has with the stock market, since if money is flowing into the stock markets, it's flowing out of dollars, vice versa. So as we can see here, the dollar has reached a high, right? This is a big reason I think we had a lot of pullback in the markets here in the last couple of weeks on Bitcoin, on the S&P, is because the dollar just shot up, right? It was testing the weekly EMA here. You see, back tested it, shot up. Now we're at a point where I do want to see it roll over, right? I don't really want to see this make a higher high, so I will be watching that. The dollar should start rolling over now. If we go to, the daily, the 4 hour, it is looking like it wants to roll over now. So the dollar is not looking so good, and that's good for Bitcoin, because as soon as this starts closing below these 4 hour, 1 hour EMAs, then you're going to go ahead and see Bitcoin start to skyrocket. So I really want to see this kind of fall over, get into this low volume gap so it can start making lower lows here, so it can head on back down to these range lows at around 100. Now gold, very similar looking chart on gold. While it is, price discovery, unlike the dollar, it does look like it's rolling over very similarly on like the 4 hour time frame, right? This does not look as bullish as, Bitcoin or the markets right now. So, while gold has been running with the Bitcoin and the markets, in the past couple of months or so, I do think if we could get gold to roll over, that would actually be beneficial for markets, since historically they are inversely correlated. So gold could roll over here and that would be really bullish. So looking to see if we can get that to play out here. And then finally going over to the S&P. The S&P finally looks bottomed, right? It has been kind of a falling knife here locally, and I think that's scared a lot of people. I've seen a lot of news headlines saying the S&P has had 7 days straight of red candles in a row. This might indicate a recession imminent or something like that, right? If we go to a daily, you can see it does look like an absolute falling knife on the daily time frame. But this is not when you want to be selling, right? This is not when you want to be worried. We're actually at big support right now at the bottom of our range, and I do expect this range to kind of hold for a while, right? We could come up, come back down, come back up, deviate it, right? And then this would be our high, something like that. You know, I'm not extremely bullish on the S&P, but I'm definitely not getting bearish at current price. I think we're at a local low for it. You know, and the fact that we have a double bottom on the 4-hour and the 1-hour time frames, it definitely looks like a bottoming structure in my opinion, right? It is closed right now, but at the start of next day, you know, and you know, futures overnight, I expect it to hold and then rally tomorrow. So S&P looks all really good. So yeah, everything on the charts right now are looking really good for Bitcoin. I expect, you know, the coming weeks to be super bullish. I think we'll go break all-time highs, and then the question becomes, are we going to swing fail all-time highs and come back down, or are we going to back test it as support and continue on up? That is obviously yet to be known, but I would go ahead and expect the latter. I do think we're going to head on up. I don't expect us to be at distribution quite yet for Bitcoin, and my reasoning for that is the altcoin season has not run yet, and I do expect this to be a proper bull run where we will see an altcoin season. So yeah, I'm prepared for that. I have all my bags loaded. I'm pretty much all in right now, and I'm patiently awaiting this Bitcoin halving. We'll probably sweep leverage one more time, and then off and away we go. This next month or so should be really bullish. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave the video off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, the link is in the description for my Discord. It is totally free, so go hop in there. Looking to build up a community of smart traders and investors so we can all make more money in the markets by bouncing ideas off each other. And go ahead, like the video and subscribe for more. And with that out of the way, I will see you all in the next video.